thing that I wanted to say that, I don't know if you guys understand this, but the level of fishing in Ohio is so much higher than what it is anywhere else. And what we've found is that guys will leave Ohio and go other places, and we've officiated the state, part of our guys have officiated state tournaments in North Carolina, and in Tennessee, and Florida, and Indiana. I know that Jack Regis is overdoing the West by God Virginia tournament this weekend, and even California has reached out to tap one of our guys. So at this time, I'd like to call on Greg West. Will you do the next presentation? Here it comes.
Thank you, Dan. Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about Steve James, let you know who he is. And Steve's witty, athletic, personable. And Steve, what's this other word you wrote down here? I can't make it out. Anyway, we go back a ways. I remember when Steve wrestled for Columbus Reedy High School. I reffed his matches, and weird that you could remember just a few kids from way back in the 70s, but I remember Steve as an excellent wrestler. Went on to Marietta College, played football, and wrestled for them. Earned All-America honors down there. For you Cleveland Browns fans, he damn near became a Cleveland Brown. He was 2 spots away from becoming a Cleveland Brown when they asked him to play in Canada for a year, but he was so eager to get into the banking business, he said, heck with pro football, I'm going to go be a banker. So that's what he did. And he's had quite a career in banking. And Coach asked me, you know, keep it short. You could tell a story. I had some good stories, but then he told me it was going to be a mixed crowd, so there goes the stories. Anyway, we did have one from Westerville North. When Steve was, you non-officials, we rotate during the finals especially. Steve was doing the championship match. I was just coming off of 3rd and 4th place. We were done and looked over and watched Steve, and the kids started moving very fast towards the out of bounds, towards the bleachers. And Steve was going to throw his body in there and save the kids from hitting the bleachers. So he started off, and he lost a step or two since his Marietta football days, and didn't quite make it there in time. The kids went down on the mat. They were safe as Steve was diving through the air. And if you've ever seen 2,000 people all at once go, ooh, that's what the gym looked like, because the kid was laying there and Steve landed right on him. Now this poor kid's laying there. His life flashes in front of him. You see Steve go, well, he's only 17, so he probably did it twice. He probably had a replay. But Steve landed on this kid. He would have been fine until this big guy comes along and smashes him. Everybody held their breath. Steve gets up. We thought it was going to be like a Roadrunner cartoon, you know, a little flat thing. You get up and bump up the kid. But the kid got up and everybody was, so there's a reason that Superman was white and not black. Anyway, after that, we went down to, Martini's downtown, and started drinking martinis like we normally drink beer. We'd been in a gym all day, we were hot, threw down 5 martinis in half an hour, and the rest of the story is the part I can't tell. It's a big company, isn't it? Yeah. That was the only thing that saved us that night. Was it was snowing like crazy. There was about 10 inches of snow on the ground. You couldn't go more than 10 miles an hour, so we were safe. But about 2.5, 3 years ago, Steve decided he wanted to give up the beautiful weather of Central Ohio and try Southern California, largely because Zan, his wife, was out there. So Steve moved to Southern California, got a beautiful place out there, got married to Zan a little over a year ago. It's convenient for me. My daughter lives in LA, and Steve's like a surrogate father for her. She goes down there quite a bit and sees them. So he's out there, like Kutch said, teaching those guys how we officiate back here. In fact, last year Steve had me, he was working the state championships in California, had me text pictures of our championship so he could show those guys what a real state championship looks like. So we're glad he is and showing it, and I'm proud to introduce my buddy, Steve James.
of all, I want to thank Greg. I don't know how I'm going to follow him. He's a great historian, but he has problems with remembering. Actually, what happened is I caught the back of the kid's head, and it was like this. It was a perfect classic shot. Columbus Dispatch, 1999, page 2. Anyway, like Greg said, I moved out to California roughly 3 years ago. Left wrestling here in Ohio to do 2 things. One, followed my wife out there. Well, I had to go, and then a job. So with that, went out there. Plus the weather's gorgeous. You know, I go back out. I go outside. I have my pool. I got the spa. You know, it's just every day is a vacation. And then when I come back here, I came back here last month to visit my dad. And you know, normally when I come back, a couple years ago, I came back and I always come back in shorts and flip-flops, no matter what the temperature is. And my mom used to yell at me because I come from the airport, I jump in the car, it's like 10 degrees, and I said I'm in shorts and flip-flops because this is how I'm going back to California. So I always dress like I'm going back. This time I had to wear a jacket. So, but it's nice out there. It's 48 degrees. But Greg came out to our wedding, and he was my best man, and he told some stories, and he didn't shy away from anything. He told stories about, and every story gets embellished when Greg tells it. So if he ever tells a story about you, just divide it in half, and you can tell the truth. But I'm gonna tell a story about Greg. We were doing the All North tournament, and this coach from your friend Adam Huddle. He was Greg dinged him unsportsmanlike conduct, and he was furious. He got a short temper. And I'm off the mat, and Greg's walking over to the next rotation, and Adam's right behind him just going, "You son of a," just calling him everything in the book. And I walked over to Adam. I said, Adam, I go, "You just hit you with unsportsmanlike conduct. The next one, you're ejected. And if he could hear you, he would throw you out." See, Greg, he is a little bit challenged in terms of hearing, but Adam was sitting there, and he was giving him all kinds of grief, but Adam did settle down. But I want to thank everybody. I do miss Ohio wrestling, and like Greg said, every time I officiate out there, when I go to state tournament, all the commissioners ask me, he goes, "Well, how does this compare? How does this compare, in terms of, what this association does, what Jim Freeland does, what, just the different associations?" I will tell you, hopefully no one has me on video, is going to ship it back out there.
I do.
Because I want to do more state tournaments out there. It doesn't compare. This is the best show on earth when it comes to high school wrestling. And, the last state tournament, I thought it was more like a district to me. The one thing they do have, which is the grind, is they have one state champion. So they take every division and they put them in one tournament. So that starts what they call the district, what they call the masters out there. But it's a great time. Competition, there's a couple of tough schools, but if you win the state champion, if you're a state champion in California, you're #1 versus the different divisions here. But I do appreciate the fact that I'm here. This is my 30th year, and I will continue to officiate out there in California until they kick me out. I also do football out there. I'm a crew chief. Somehow they just saw me and they sucked me in and put me in these places, and I'm having fun in the sports I love, my job, and everything else out there in the weather. I go from the beach. Oh, you want me to cut it short? Tom Rudy told me to cut it short.
I was saying, don't forget your wife.
No, she's the last thing I have to think, because without her, I finally found a partner that enjoys this sport and everything we like to do. And she is my partner, my soulmate, and I love her dearly. And we're flying back on Sunday, and she said she would not miss this for the world. When it came up to giving up the state tournament to come here, that was no decision. I was going to be here, and I look and see all these familiar faces, And she goes, you know, we can move back. And I thought, real serious, I go, nah. So with that, I want to thank everybody and you know, all the other inductees. It's been a great time, and thank you guys.